Did you know that in 2021's Deathloop, if you enter a certain code into this door, then this will happen?
Old habits die hard.
So the trophy that unlocked, called Old Habits Die Hard, is a reference to the countless games that have used the 0451 code before, including Deus Ex Mankind Divided, Prey, and many more. The 0451 code is a reference to the famous Ray Bradbury book, Fahrenheit 451. Hello and welcome back to another episode of Video Game Easter Eggs, the series where we cover some of the best Easter eggs found in video games. As always, if you think you know of a video game Easter egg that I'm yet to cover, then let me know in the comments down below and I'll do my best to check it out. Oh, and before we get started, I'd like to thank the sponsor of today's video, World of Tanks. World of Tanks is a free-to-play multiplayer combat vehicle game with over 100 million players worldwide. It lets you take control of over 600 tanks ranging from artillery all the way up to heavy tanks. World of Tanks is about as in-depth as it gets. Once you've selected your tank, it's time to roll out, where battles take place on steep hills, sandy deserts, dense industrial zones, and much more. Each area requires a new strategy to emerge victorious. It's a deceptively deep game. Combine all of those options with World of Tanks' historically accurate tank models and characteristics, and it won't be long until you feel like a real tank commander heading into battle. Oh, and I haven't even mentioned the ability to earn experience for your tanks and being able to modify and upgrade your death-dealing machine, meaning you can create a steel beast ready for anything. To download World of Tanks today, make sure you click my link in the description. And if you use the code TANKMANIA, you'll get a free 7-day premium account, 250,000 credits, the tier 5 premium tank Excelsior, and 3 rental tanks for 10 battles each. Once again, a huge thank you to World of Tanks for sponsoring today's video. Remember to check them out using the link in the description, it helps me out a ton, and without further delay, let's get started. So let's begin with the game that is single-handedly responsible for my hour-long toilet breaks. Bloons TD6 is the super popular tower defense game that's available on mobile and PC. Now, I can't quite work out why it's so damn addictive. I mean, it follows the same formula of many other tower defense games, but Bloons is the one that keeps me coming back. Now, we have already covered some Bloons Easter eggs in this series, most notably the appearance of Jason Voorhees on the cabin map. Well, the first Bloons TD6 Easter egg for today's video can be found on the ravine map. If you click this sword in the stone enough times, eventually this will happen. So the sword will be removed from the stone, popping a few balloons in the process. This is of course a nod to the legendary tale of the sword in the stone, that could only be removed by those who were deemed worthy, or those who repeatedly click their screens in Bloons TD6. The other Easter egg that I found in TD6 can actually help you defeat those pesky balloons. On the frozen over map, if you place a mortar and target this area of the ice, eventually this will happen. So after a short while, the ice will break and the cave monkey will aid you in battle. Don't get me wrong, he's not particularly powerful, but it's better than nothing. So fans of video game Easter eggs will already be familiar with the Postal games. The series is home to some of the strangest video game Easter eggs ever, including a bookcase that could be woken from the dead by peeing on its grave. Well, as well as the upcoming full release of Postal 4, there is also Postal Brain Damaged that's currently available in demo form on Steam. Brain Damaged is a much more traditional first-person shooter, with quick movement and even quicker reflexes the key to victory. Well, as you explore the game's first area, you can find a creepy-looking house. If you enter the house and snoop around a bit, you can find this.
Those moronic developers thought they could hide this from me?
So this secret room containing a dress and a massive purple dog's chew toy are references to the giant vampire Lady Dimitrescu from Resident Evil Village. Oh, and YouTube, I promise it's definitely a dog's chew toy. Next up is Super Serious Police Simulator Ready or Not. Now, in a game that prides itself on its realism, you probably wouldn't expect to find that many Easter eggs. And you'd be right to think that. Well, sort of anyway. Before starting a mission, you can take the time to explore your headquarters. Now, all of that exploring is enough to make a man tired, and if that's the case, you may want to make a pit stop at the coffee machine. Like all things in Ready or Not, ordering a coffee isn't simple. First, you must make your selection, pay your money, place your cup, and finally dispense your beverage. Well, if you were to drink 3 cups of coffee in quick succession, or at least as quickly as the process of ordering a coffee will allow, then this will happen. So it turns out that mainlining coffee not only causes you to run really fast, but also blurs your vision. Now, I once drank a lot of coffee in a short period of time, and I can confirm it does funny things to your eyes, though I still wasn't very fast. So back in episode 61 of this series, we dipped our toes into the blood-filled waters of World War II shooter Hell Let Loose. In that video, we found a couple of cool Easter eggs, but I had suspicions there was more to find, and well, here we are. Oh, and I don't say this enough, and I'm not saying it to suck up to you all, but honestly, you guys are some of the best subscribers on YouTube. If I ask for Easter eggs from a game, like I did with Hell Let Loose, you always come through, so thank you for that. Right, enough being soppy, let's take a look at the Easter eggs. First up, on the St. Mere Église map, you can find this. So I could be wrong, but I'm almost certain that this concrete donkey is a reference to the concrete donkey from the Worms games, a series that, like Hell Let Loose, is published by Team 17. Speaking of Worms, on the Kursk map, you can find this. Yep, it's the Worms from... well, it's the Worms from Worms. The final Hell Let Loose Easter egg can be found on the Foy map. So in the rafters of this building, you can find a marching chicken wearing a soldier's hat. Why? Well, I don't know why. So let's once again end an episode of this series with Dying Light 2. Now, in the last episode of this series, we found Leon Kennedy's dog tag and were eventually rewarded with Kyle Crane's dog tag after completing the Wall of Valor side quest. Well, a few of you mentioned that all of the dog tags found during the Wall of Valor side quest are references in some form or another. Well, I decided to check them out, and I think you guys are right. First up, Trevor Wisbowski is a soldier from 1986's Aliens, as is Dwayne Hicks and William Hudson, the latter probably best known for this line from the film.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
Call of Duty fans should recognise this one, as Simon Riley is the name of Ghost from Call of Duty. Adrian Capazzo is Vin Diesel's character in Saving Private Ryan. Blaine Cooper is one of the Predator's victims in 1987's Predator, and Elias Gordon is a nod to Willem Dafoe's character from Oliver Stone's Oscar-winning movie Platoon. The only 2 dog tags that I'm not sure on are Rosa Barthez, this one really has me stumped, and Sean Bean. Of course, I immediately thought of British actor Sean Bean, but the name is spelt differently. I mean, it probably is a nod to him, but perhaps you guys have other ideas. So the final Easter egg for today's video can be found at this location on the map. If you approach the quest giver here and wait, he will eventually say this.
Can't let darkness and ignorance reign. Ignorance leads to repeating the same mistakes over and over again. The definition of insanity. And I don't need no mohawk to know that.
So as soon as this man mentioned the definition of insanity, my ears pricked up. Then when he mentioned that he doesn't need a mohawk to know that, I knew we had a Far Cry reference on our hands. The mohawk that this man is referring to belongs to Far Cry 3 villain Vaas, who of course said a very similar thing.
Definition of insanity is doing the exact same fucking thing over and over again, expecting shit to change. That is crazy.
So that's it. If you enjoyed this video, then leaving a like is really appreciated. If you are a fan of Easter eggs and secrets in video games, then perhaps consider subscribing, as that's what this channel is all about. As always, thank you all for watching, and I'll speak to you all soon.